Let's analyze the cost of 14/2 Romex wire, which is currently at $40 for a 250-foot roll. This equates to a cost of 16 cents per foot. To put this in perspective, we can compare prices from other retailers. For example, a similar roll might be available at Home Depot for $35 or at Menards for $36. Several factors contribute to the current high cost of electrical wire. Firstly, inflation plays a significant role. The overall increase in the cost of goods and services directly impacts the price of building materials, including electrical wire. Secondly, a copper shortage is a major driver of price increases. Copper is a key component in electrical wire, and its scarcity due to various global factors significantly drives up manufacturing costs. Thirdly, increased demand, particularly from the ongoing housing boom, places upward pressure on prices. As more houses are built, the demand for electrical wiring and other construction materials rises, causing prices to increase. Fourthly, supply chain disruptions have had a considerable impact. The recent pandemic has disrupted global supply chains, making it more difficult to obtain materials used in wire manufacturing, leading to higher prices and potential shortages. Fifthly, retailer pricing strategies can influence costs. Some retailers may have higher prices than others to cover operational expenses, maintain profit margins, or offer additional services. Now let's explore some tips for saving money on electrical wire. Firstly, shop around and compare prices at multiple retailers before making a purchase. Check prices online and in store at various suppliers to identify the best deals. Secondly, consider alternative materials. Depending on your specific electrical needs, there might be cheaper alternatives to 14/2 Romex, such as 12/2 or 10/2 wire. Consult with a qualified electrician to determine the appropriate gauge for your application. Thirdly, buying in bulk can often lead to cost savings. Purchasing a larger quantity of wire may qualify you for a discount, especially if you have a significant project. Fourthly, wait for sales and promotions. Retailers often run sales on electrical wire and other building materials, so keep an eye out for discounts and special offers. Planning your purchases around these events can save you a substantial amount of money. When choosing between 14/2, 12/2, and 10/2 Romex wire, it's crucial to understand their differences and appropriate uses. The numbers represent the wire gauge and the number of current carrying conductors within the cable, plus a ground wire. Lower numbers indicate thicker wire. Firstly, 14/2 Romex typically consists of two 14-gauge wires and a ground wire. It is commonly used for lighting circuits and general-purpose outlets in residential wiring, usually on a 15-amp circuit. Secondly, 12/2 Romex contains two 12-gauge wires and a ground wire. It is suitable for 20-amp circuits and is often used for kitchen and bathroom outlets, as well as for powering appliances that require more current. Thirdly, 10/2 Romex has two 10-gauge wires and a ground wire. It is designed for higher current applications, such as powering air conditioners, electric ranges, and other heavy-duty appliances, typically on a 30-amp circuit. Selecting the correct wire gauge is essential for safety. Using a wire gauge that is too thin for the intended load can cause the wire to overheat, potentially leading to a fire. Consult the National Electrical Code, NEC, and local electrical codes to ensure you are using the correct wire gauge for your specific application. It is always best to consult with a qualified electrician if you are unsure about which wire to use. The NEC provides guidelines on wire ampacity, which is the maximum amount of current a wire can safely carry. For example, NEC Table 310.15. B16 provides ampacity ratings for various wire gauges and insulation types. Understanding wire ampacity is crucial for selecting the appropriate wire size for a given circuit. For example, a 14-gauge copper wire with a typical insulation type has an ampacity of 15 amps, a 12-gauge copper wire has an ampacity of 20 amps, and a 10-gauge copper wire has an ampacity of 30 amps. When installing electrical wiring, it's also important to follow all safety precautions. Always turn off the power to the circuit before working on any electrical components. Use appropriate tools and wear safety glasses to protect your eyes. If you are not comfortable working with electricity, hire a qualified electrician to do the work. Electrical work can be dangerous, and it's important to take all necessary precautions to prevent accidents. When comparing prices between different retailers, consider not only the cost per roll or foot, but also any additional fees or charges, such as shipping or handling. Some retailers may offer free shipping on orders over a certain amount, which can save you money. Also, check the retailer's return policy in case you need to return any unused wire. It's also a good idea to read reviews and ratings of different retailers to get an idea of their customer service and reliability. Choose a reputable retailer with a good track record of providing quality products and services. When purchasing electrical wire, make sure it is UL listed, which means it has been tested and certified by underwriters' laboratories to meet safety standards. UL listing ensures that the wire is safe to use and meets the requirements of the NEC and local electrical codes. Look for the UL mark on the wire packaging or on the wire itself. Also, check the wire's insulation type. Common insulation types for Romex wire include type NMB, which is suitable for dry locations, and type UFB, which is suitable for wet locations. Choose the appropriate insulation type for your specific application. When running electrical wire, it's important to follow proper wiring techniques. Avoid kinking or damaging the wire, and use appropriate connectors and fasteners to secure the wire to walls, ceilings, and other surfaces. Also, make sure to properly ground all electrical circuits to prevent electrical shock hazards. Grounding provides a safe path for electricity to flow in the event of a fault. When working with electrical wire, it's also important to be aware of the potential hazards of electromagnetic fields, EMFs. EMF are invisible fields of energy that surround electrical devices and wiring. Some people are concerned about the potential health effects of exposure to EMF, although the scientific evidence is inconclusive. To minimize your exposure to EMF, keep a safe distance from electrical wiring and devices, and consider using shielded cables and other EMF-reducing products. In addition to saving money and the cost of electrical wire, there are other ways to reduce your overall electrical expenses. Firstly, use energy-efficient lighting, such as LED bulbs, which consume significantly less energy than traditional incandescent bulbs. Secondly, unplug electronic devices when they are not in use, as they can still draw power even when turned off. Thirdly, install a programmable thermostat to automatically adjust your home's temperature based on your schedule. Fourthly, seal any air leaks around windows and doors to prevent drafts and reduce energy waste. By taking these steps, you can significantly lower your electricity bill and reduce your carbon footprint. When planning an electrical project, it's also important to consider future needs. Anticipate any potential additions or modifications to your electrical system and plan accordingly. For example, if you plan to add a new appliance or outlet in the future, make sure to run the appropriate wiring and install a properly sized circuit breaker. This will save you time and money in the long run. When working with electrical wire, it's also important to be aware of the potential for corrosion. Corrosion can occur when electrical connections are exposed to moisture or other corrosive substances. To prevent corrosion, use corrosion-resistant connectors and fasteners, and protect electrical connections from moisture. Also, periodically inspect your electrical system for signs of corrosion and replace any corroded components. When disposing of old electrical wire, it's important to do so properly. Do not simply throw electrical wire in the trash, as it can pose an environmental hazard. Instead, recycle electrical wire at a local recycling center or scrap yard. Recycling electrical wire helps to conserve resources and reduce pollution. When working with electrical wire, it's also important to be aware of the potential for electrical fires. Electrical fires can be caused by faulty wiring, overloaded circuits, or damaged appliances. To prevent electrical fires, have your electrical system inspected regularly by a qualified electrician and repair any faulty wiring or damaged components. Also, Install smoke detectors and carbon monoxide detectors in your home and test them regularly to ensure they are working properly. When choosing an electrician, it's important to select a qualified and licensed professional. Check the electrician's credentials and references and make sure they are insured and bonded. Also, get a written estimate of the cost of the work before it begins, and make sure the electrician is familiar with the NEC and local electrical codes. A qualified electrician can help you with all of your electrical needs, from simple repairs to complex installations. Remember that electrical work can be dangerous, and it's important to take all necessary precautions to prevent accidents. If you are not comfortable working with electricity, hire a qualified electrician to do the work. With proper planning and execution, you can safely and effectively complete your electrical projects while saving money on the cost of materials. These tips and considerations should help you navigate the complexities of electrical wiring and make informed decisions about your electrical projects. Always prioritize safety and consult with qualified professionals when necessary.